Welcome back, welcome back. Hope you guys doing alright.
Yes, Dave. By mid-2025. Now again, I had no idea about this. I didn't talk about this in previous videos because I never went back and read these books that I've written. I just dictated them and then I was such a workaholic, I just kept on going with the rest of my life and doing all this other stuff. And I never even went back and read them. So I was totally amazed to find out this prophecy of a first wave of ascension, that it was going to happen by mid-2025, and that there is going to be, as I just said, a full solar flash, but only after everybody's ready for it.
Think about it.
So some of us are going to be able to go right into that higher astral body and be ready for the full-blown fourth density right away. After this first wave happens. So apparently there will be some people who become incredible superheroes right off the bat. And this could involve telekinesis, this could involve telepathy, this could involve shooting lightning out of your hands, balls of light out of your hands. All these kinds of interesting things appear to be some of the basic stuff. The ability to project thought forms, to project complex visual thought forms. And again, by location, projecting your own essence into your fourth density body. And that's what we're all going to have to learn how to do. And once we're all finished with that, then there is a full solar flash, because now everybody has walked into fourth density, and everybody's walked off the stage of the earth. There's no need to be there anymore. We've all learned how to activate our astral bodies. We go into this new layer of existence, and only then is there the full solar flash. Now, the Law of One actually talks about all this stuff, and they estimate in the books that it's going to take somewhere between 100 to 700 years before this happens. Now, in the meantime, once we go through this first wave of ascension, we all get something that they describe extensively in the Law of One. You can go look it up or read Michael Prophecies again, where they talk about the third, fourth activated body. What the hell is the third, fourth activated body? The third, fourth activated body means that you live in a human body, you still have your body, but you also have your fourth density body activated enough that now it can do things like poltergeist events. It might start causing telekinesis to occur, and at first you don't realize that you are causing it, but it's this other version of you that would be like a ghost, that lives at the same time as you are living. So you're interconnected with this consciousness, and it can actually go and move things without your awareness. And so if you look at all the teachings of the classic ancient master yogis, they all talk about the importance of raising your consciousness, and eventually gets to the point where people are having lucid dreams, out-of-body experiences, and in the case of levitating saints, we talk about this in our new movie, Levitation. I hope you'll see that coming up. Levitation is going to be incredible. We have all these great stars who we're interviewing for this, insiders. So when we see what's possible, it becomes an amazing phenomenon.
So, you want to believe the scientist, or do you want to believe the Bible? It's your choice. It's all your choice. Or you could believe Star Wars. Or you could believe the Quran. Or you could believe all these things that's been saying these things forever. I don't know. But I'm sure we're all going to find out.
Is the prequels to the beginning of the Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So
Neo and the Terminator, Matrix and the Terminator, it's the same fucking movie, she said, because she's the one that made it up, this black woman. And One's about a computer synthetic superworld, and then everybody wakes up, and then Terminator is the future where everything's yeah, I forgot. And it's all about the
Designed it for us to leave.
Oh
Terminator
shit.
is the prequels to the beginning of the Matrix.
Oh shit.
Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connors, Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel. Past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ. The evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
So man versus nature.
Exactly. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor. And they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant, and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man-child, subconsciously, he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, the reloaded, revolution starts. And the rebels come and they find him because they've been watching him all along. That's what the Guardians and the Sentinels are all about. And so they wake him up to his purpose. They take him to Morpheus to train him to fight the machines. They take him to the Oracle because of the prophecy. So this is the whole epic story. It's an epic.
Because this plays into why this sudden mental change on Facebook. Where's
So the originator of the Matrix and the Terminator movie made one big elaborate story, and that story's the Bible. Oh, is that why I teach through movies? Because I've seen it in every story. And then I seen that this black woman made those stories, and I said, holy shit, we're on to something, Daddy. We're on to something good. And thus we're here, trying to show people there's more truth in the fiction than what they say is the truth. You just have to look and see. And once you can see and compare the two, you become an X-Man.
Facebook now a threat where they need to regulate them and shut them down?
Facebook is nothing but a database for the CIA. That's all it is. It has all of your family's pictures, all of your friends. It has all the information. They used it here.
Like an Ancestry.com.
What, like Skynet?
I'm telling you, like that's just crazy, right?
In Vegas, when they had that car accident, remember when the Maserati right by the Cromwell, when that happened right there? Well, all they did was take camera footage from Caesars, Bally's, and other casinos, and they went and they took this footage and they got the license plates, and then they saw that the guy did, California. He rented that Range Rover, and after they did that, they went to social network and they found his girlfriend on Twitter, so they found his picture, and then they went to LA because they knew they were from LA, put his picture on a $250,000 billboard and put a reward up for him for $25,000, and they got him within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks because of the technology.
So how do you advise people to share their image,
Well,
their data?
There's not going to be any more privacy. Everything is camera down. Everything is caught on camera. And this is what it's going to be about in the future. Virtual reality that I'm explaining in The Matrix and Terminator. Everything is going to be, so now it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any more paper passports. It's just going to be where you come into the airport, they're going to scan you, your body, retinal, fingerprints, the whole 9 yards.
This is what clears about it.
That's
that
right.
Airport, that's what
And
clears, yeah.
this way, nobody has to alter paper and put a picture or a name on there because they have your bone structure, they have your eyes, they got your fingerprints. This is the database, and they match you up. You see what I'm saying? And you go through. So that way no terrorists can come through and pretend to be somebody or somebody that they're looking for.
Makes
that's
sense.
The most wanted. You see what I'm saying? Because all of this technology.
You see what I said in the other video about people talking about what the government's doing before they do it sometimes, and you just, oh, they're trying to take away my privacy. Real shit's going on in the world. Like, did you not hear the part before it where it said people might actually become fucking Super Saiyans? I don't know if I'm like, the Lord's gonna like, discriminate. Meaning, he's just gonna, if you got it in you, or if you know how to cheat code it, you fucking leveling up. And, everybody's not a good guy. So, I think if I was the guys that are, above us, I'd be like, fuck, what are we gonna do in the future? Like, look at these people. If we don't tell them what to do, they fucking destroy each other. Like, could you imagine them with Hulk-like powers? Well, I'm gonna bunker down in these mountains and they can Ragnarok all they want. I'll be over here. I'll be over here.
Is going to start ruling. It's artificial intelligence. It's going to start ruling everything. Once the satellites come into play that I'm talking about, there's maybe another 5 to 10 years from now, they're really going to play a phenomenal part. Because this is why Apple and Microsoft became the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar babies, is because IBM and Xerox didn't know what a mouse was. A mouse meaning they didn't know what the internet was going to be. You see what I'm talking about? They didn't want to move into that technology. The studios don't know what streaming is. They got pissed off because Netflix paid $50 million and got 3 or 4 Oscars for the movie Roma. But it was never shown in the movie theaters at all. It was watched.
And that's why Steven Spielberg and all of it. When we come back,
yes.
I'm going to have some of my crew to join in my technical piece.
Some gems.
We mentioned when you were coming on your lawsuits and the battles you've had to fight, and you've just won
for
in
what?
Utah.
Yes.
But it's always a battle for you.
For what?
Well, the reason why it's always a battle for me is because the government refuses to protect my copyrights. I own the copyrights to all the derivative movies, both franchises I own. It was adjudicated in Utah, September the 25th, 20.
And look, most of us did not know this was going on. Most people's
I did.
Like, a lot of people's favorite movies like Matrix and stuff like that. Terminator. Come on.
I know. Like he said, most of us don't know that the things we cheer on, our own people make, and it was to warn us. And then they get their filthy hands on it, and they change things. And now they got everybody saying, take the red pill or the blue pill. Not realizing the movie ended with showing everybody Neil's a fucking robot. He's not the one. There was no one. The Oracle's a fucking robot, and it's all a setup. No one ever got out of the Matrix. They all were in Zion, but that was a fucking computer program too. It was a beat in the head. They thought they got free. And at the end of the movie, Neo and the fake robot and your fucking savior made a deal with the Oracle and the father created thing, and it wanted to make peace, but they can't exist without the people. So they're not letting go. So they made a new Matrix and just said you just can frolic in that. You just can have your illusion of freedom, and or maybe we'll let you go or some shit. But they never show that. They never show that. So I wonder if they was like making that about the. Oh yeah, I forgot.
Huh? We all here on this channel. Look,
Yeah.
situation complete.
Yeah.
Money laundering.
Do you consider yourself politically neutral?
I consider myself totally neutral. All I'm worried about is for the people.
Right.
Because if the government doesn't protect my copyrights, he doesn't protect yours.
But the government is afraid of you. I'd be afraid of you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid of me because I only stand for principles.
But what you know and the knowledge you share and
Hey.
what you have insights to can be very dangerous to some people.
Yes, but my job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance.
Right.
So it's not dangerous for me because that's my job. That's what I came here to do. That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on.
Oh,
Where do we start?
To greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot
Right.
of these movie houses and these studios and the Facebooks of the world don't want people to know what happens to them every day when they share the information.
But that's destroying their free will,
But
and
do you
God
think-
doesn't want that.
But people want to be ignorant. They don't want to know that they're being exploited. It requires too much responsibility when they find
Sure.
out.
Well, that's what the blue pill and the red pill is about. The red pill is about the blood of the living beings. The black and the blue ink is the machines. But this is the
I thought the red pill was about being an alpha male and the blue pill was about being a husband pussy whip nigga. Nah, it's about fucking, you gonna join the robots or you gonna be a man? Blood. Blue bloods, red blood, yin, yang, cyborg man, real man, Goku, Vegeta. What you gonna be? It's all choice.
humans' world. We are the winners. They are the losers. So people need to exert their free will regardless of what anybody wants.
So what are the unintended consequences of all this that we're talking about?
Their people's consciousness will shift and they will go on to create and do better things. They won't be in bondage. And this is the whole purpose of the Matrix and Terminator and the new work that's coming, Matrix 4. It's a Matrix 4 book is out. It's been selling for 9 years, since 2010, around the entire globe. People have to wake up and shift their consciousness so they can create, so they can build. Because you can't stay in the past. Everything must change, right?
One of the things in the 1 minute that we have left, if you don't
Makes
remember
sense.
anything else about the broadcast today, is this: you're not as free as you think you are. You're in bondage in more ways than you imagine, and it's a different kind of slavery, very dangerous kind of slavery, that the mind and how we conceit ourselves of people without any thoughts or any challenge, and we're so willing to surrender. Freedom comes with a price. It takes
Yes.
as much to maintain it as it did to establish it. It's not really free, and it's not for the faint of heart.
Freedom is never free. Freedom always costs you something. Everything costs you something. Nothing is free. Nothing. You have to do something. You had to put your phone on to watch this video. You had to lift up. You have to do something to get anything. So that's the thing people don't realize. There's many choices on how we get what we want. We don't always have to brute force and act like fucking cavemen. We don't have to oppress each other. There's a thing called forgiveness. Like my father, kind of wrote a book down so we wouldn't have to go through things. And I've said it before, if it's a choice, then you can do the right thing, tell the truth, and then go run to the mountains, because, people are going to be mad. But that's what the chosen are for. We can tell them, like, no, the Lord's going to have his way with them. Let them live. I don't know how the story's going to go. Everybody's changing things and all of this time frame. I don't even care anymore. I really don't. Why? Because it's like the sun. It's gonna set and it's gonna rise. And there's nothing no one can do about it. Takes time, but what else are we gonna do but wait?
But man is always going to take that challenge because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up. They didn't even realize they were in the dream. They didn't realize they were in a simulation. They didn't realize they were in the illusions. But now that they are awakened, they will fight.
Will you fight? Are you awakened? Are you ready to embrace your destiny? Because freedom comes from God, not from man. And the moment you realize that, you'll begin that journey of freedom. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing. Like Morpheus said, I didn't tell you it was going to be easy.
But it will be fair if you fight it.
So, let's get the obvious stuff out of the way.
You're not human, are you?
And it's tough to get any more obvious than that.
If I had to guess, I'd say you were programmed from the machine world.
See? Even in the movie, Neil finds out the Oracle that he's been listening to, she's not real. She's a computer. So that would put her on the opposite side of being human. But what nobody understands about this scene is she's trying to tell his stupid ass, you're my son, you stupid fuck. The Holy Trinity. That white man's the creator of the Matrix, and I'm the mother, and we made you, motherfucker. We wiped your memory. We sent you in as a fucking triple agent to figure out where Zion is and have Morpheus, stupid ass, go believe the prophecy when Morpheus is really the one. Technically. Because he's the strongest human. Everybody's waiting for the super fucking human, but there was none. Neo only did all that stuff because he was a fucking program like the agents with a higher upgrade. That's why he could fucking... he was doing all that shit to them because he was one of them. Now, pay attention to what she says to her son.
So is he.
So far, so good.
But if that's true, that could mean you are part of this system. Another kind of control.
Keep going.
I suppose the most obvious question is, how can I trust you?
Bingo. It is a pickle, no doubt about it. Bad news is there's no way if you can really know whether I'm here to help you or not. So it's really up to you. Just have to make up your own damn mind to either accept what I'm going to tell you or reject it.
Yep.
Andy?
You already know if I'm going to take it.
Wouldn't be much of an oracle if I didn't.
But if you already know, how can I make a choice?
Because you didn't come here to make the choice. You've already made it. You're here to try to understand why you made it. I thought you'd have figured that out by now.
Why are you here?
Same reason. I love killing Dick.
But why help us?
We're all here to do what we're all here to do. I'm interested in one thing, Neo, the future. And believe me, I know the only way to get there is together.
Are there other programs like you?
Oh, not like me, but... Look,
Well, fuck.
see those birds? At some point, a program was written to govern them. A program was written to watch over the trees and the wind, sunrise and sunset.
See, when she says program, she means spirit. My father made everything. and then he put a spirit over it. You know, a guardian, a god. And some of them said, I don't want to be the ruler of the crows. I don't want to be the ruler of the fucking... I want to do this. And he said, you're banished. You're banished. I'll replace you. You're banished. And then they said, well, I'm going to fucking rule other things anyway. I'm going to go down there and I'm going to fucking do what I want. And make a whole new reality, a whole new matrix. And we're going to fucking... We're going to be the ones. All together. We're going to erase you from their minds. Rough. Get it? No, you don't get it.
Programs running all over the place. The ones doing their job, doing what they were meant to do, are invisible. You never even know they were here. But the other ones, well, you hear about them all the time.
Makes sense now?
Of course you have. Every time you've heard someone say they saw a ghost or an angel. Every story you've ever heard about vampires, werewolves, or aliens is the system assimilating some program that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
Want to know what happens when you go down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole?
Who is Maggot? Japheth was born into a family of 5 siblings. He suffered from severe...
This is a guy called Maggot. And he's a mutant from the X-Men. And his name originally was Japheth. You know, Noah's third son or second son, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The one no one ever fucking seems to talk about. Ever. And, you know, why?
Stomach aches since he was a kid, and doctors told him that... What if I told you... Who is Maggot? Japheth was born into a family of 5 siblings. He suffered from severe stomach aches since he was a kid, and doctors told him that he had cancer, not wanting to burden his family with medical costs. At 12 years old, he left his South African village with thoughts of suicide and ended up in the Kalahari Desert, where he was saved by Magneto. They discovered that Japheth's stomach aches were caused by 2 slug-like creatures in his gut, which was his digestive system, which he later named Eenie and Meenie. Apart from having a sentient digestive system which acted autonomously from him and appeared to be highly intelligent, he also possesses enhanced strength, enhanced durability, psychometric recall, which allows him to read the past events that transpired in his immediate area, and telepathic resistance. However, because the slugs functioned as Maggot's digestive system, he could not intake nourishment without them, and would die if separated from them indefinitely. Who?
That's interesting. I wish I could find the video. I'm gonna look for it, but my battery's getting low, so you know. Oof, man, you people don't understand.
Force around you.
Although both Obi-Wan and Yoda do an excellent job of providing a brief description of what the Force is, there are a few aspects that make up the Force that we all know and love. This video will use examples from both Disney's new canon and Legends to explain these aspects and how they come together to create the Force. For starters, in Legends, the Force was made up of 5 aspects, while Disney's new canon is only made up of 3. The 5 aspects of the Force within Legends are the Living Force, Unifying Force, Cosmic Force, Physical Force, and yes, midichlorians. Now, I know midichlorians are a thing that many within the Star Wars fandom have despised and felt took away much of the mysticism that the Force once had, but I've learned to embrace them, and I'll later explain why. The Living Force is an aspect of the Force that many are most familiar with, as it is the one we see the most of. It is what is present among all living things, surrounds them, flows through them, and binds them all together. Focusing on the present, it is an aspect that relies more on the instincts and living in the moment, as even Qui-Gon Jinn pointed out in Episode 1, the Phantom Menace film.
Keep your concentration here and now where it belongs.
But Master Yoda said I should be mindful of the future.
But not at the expense of the moment. Be mindful of the living force, young Padawan.
And has been referenced in other media, such as the Clone Wars television series. The Living Force can even grant those that have truly embraced and mastered the understanding of the Living Force, and themselves, the ability to carry on as a Force ghost upon death, as they become one with the Force. However, This is an ability that is used more often by Jedi, but there are a few instances within Legends where a Dark Jedi or Sith has been capable of doing something similar. One of the major differences between the two being that a Force Ghost is at peace and can move freely, as to where a Dark Jedi or Sith are usually bound to an object or location and are restless, often consumed by anger or even driven mad. Diving deeper, the light and the dark side are both what make up much of what the living force is, and are constantly fighting with one another for control. Fully embracing either side of the force is said to grant the wielder access to powers and abilities that the other side would be incapable of using. But there are instances where this has been proven not to be true, such as the ability to use Force Heal, which Darth Traya used on the Wookiee bounty hunter Hanar, and Knights of the Old Republic too. Plo Koon is another example of someone who used a Force power believed to be aligned with the dark side, in the case of using Force Lightning without anger or malice, calling it Electric Judgment. While many believe in such restrictions in the Force, there are some that believe that the powers and abilities granted by the Force do not have a side. It is the intent and how such powers and abilities are used that feed into either the light or the dark side of the Force, if even at all. Which brings us to the physical Force, which is an aspect of the Force that allows those capable of wielding its power to use many amazing powers and abilities we just touched upon, such as Force Push, Force Pull, Jedi Mind Tricks, Force Lightning, and so on. Where the living Force focuses on the present, the cosmic Force is what impacts the future. It's through this aspect of the Force that events are manipulated, usually to bring order to chaos within the galaxy. I mentioned this in a previous video about why do stormtroopers have bad aim, that you should totally watch if you haven't already, as it can favor being or side in order to achieve such order. The living Force also feeds into the cosmic Force, and back into the living Force in turn through midichlorians, which is how Qui-Gon Jinn stated he was able to communicate with Yoda in Season 6, Episode 11, called Voices, in the Clone Wars television series.
All energy from the living force, from all things that have ever lived, feeds into the cosmic force, binding everything and communicating to us through the midichlorians.
The future and destiny are also where the unifying force comes into play, as it is an aspect that is present throughout the stars and planets, throughout space and time, surrounding, penetrating, and binding it all together, much like how the living force does with all living things. Unlike the living force, though, the unifying force is neutral, not being made up of light or dark. It's through the unifying force that Force-sensitive individuals are capable of receiving visions of the